this is the approach I take when I solve these perimeter problems. I'm going to use the 4-step problem solving strategy. And the first step, what you're going to do is pretty much just take notes. So step 1, I'll write it right here. I'll put it down, take notes. And all you're trying to do is get an understanding of what's going on, so gather all the information. And there's not too much information given in this problem, so it shouldn't take too long. But it says here the perimeter of the rectangle below is 116 units. I'm just going to put down P is equal to 116 perimeter. So P is for perimeter. And they also told me find the length of side XY. So find the length of side XY. So I'm going to put down XY equals and then question mark. I got to find the length of that side. And I'm just going to highlight that here. So XY is this side right here. I want to find the side length of that side. So how long is that side? And right now I can see that it's just an expression. So actually let me just put down that XY equals 2y plus 3. And they want me to find XY. And keep in mind, XY means the length of it. So the actual numerical value. Those are all the notes, so I'm just going to move over to step number 2, which is to come up with a plan. And in this stage is going to be the hardest step of all. So step 2 is the hardest. It takes the longest because you have to really put together what is going on in the problem. And it's not clear as to what you should do, which is why it takes the longest. But keep in mind that with experience, so the more problems you do, the better you get at planning, because you start to recognize, oh, this problem looks similar to something I did before. But in the planning stage, one recommendation is to pretty much look at the notes you took and try to figure out, are you going to need a formula? Can you write a new equation? What new information can I create based on the information that was given to me? I know that we were given perimeter, which is 116, so the first thing I'm thinking about is, what does perimeter mean? Perimeter, you have to add all the side lengths. So they're telling me that when I add all these side lengths, it's going to come out to be 116 units. Now, I have 2 side lengths represented here. Let me just clear this up real quick. You can see that this right here, 2y plus 3, that's one of the side lengths. And this is a rectangle, and if you didn't already know this, the opposite sides of a rectangle have the same length. So I know that if this side is 2y plus 3, then the side length VW is also going to be 2y plus 3. Opposite sides have the same length. So whatever, in this case, it's not a number, it's an expression. But we know that whatever that expression is has to be the same on the other side. And then now looking at side XW, I can see its length is 3y, is represented by that expression 3y, which means the other side is also going to be 3y. And remember, to find the perimeter, you have to add all the side lengths. Let me add that note here. So perimeter is the sum of all side lengths. And what I'm going to do next is, okay, I know that this is true. This is the relationship for perimeter, is the sum of all the side lengths. And I'm going to replace what I know so far. So they told me the perimeter is 116 units. So I can replace perimeter with 116. And keep in mind, in the planning stage, you're not trying to solve yet. A common mistake is to try to get ahead of yourself and try to solve. Putting things together, adding things together. Don't do that yet. It's tempting to, but don't do it yet. Take your time here. So 116 units is the perimeter. And then the sum of all side lengths. So I'm going to take all 4 side lengths and I'm going to add them together. That's what it means to add them up, to sum, to find the sum. I'm just going to use different colors to show the different sides. So I know I have 3y plus another 3y plus 2y plus 3 plus another 2y plus 3. You can see I have 4 side lengths represented here. And if you want, you can underline them as you write it, because it can be confusing as to which ones you wrote. But you can see that what I underlined here, I did them in colors, but what I underlined here are the 4 different side lengths in that rectangle. So we have our equation. There's only one unknown value, the y. We could actually solve this equation. And I can see that if I do solve this, so I'm going to make a note. I'm going to solve for y. That's my plan so far. Solve for y. When I get y, I know y is just the y value, right? It's going to give me some number. But keep in mind, if you look over here in our notes, they want you to find xy. They never said find y, they want xy. So once you find y, so I'm going to put a little, this is my like step A is solve for y. Step B would be, once I solve for y, I can see that xy is equal to 2y plus 3, which means I have to take the y value and replace it in here to figure out the length of that side xy. So that's my plan. Solve for y, whatever that number is, substitute it in place of the expression 2y plus 3, and that'll tell me the length of xy. And that's the plan. That means we can move on to step 3 now. So step 3 is to actually solve the equation. So I'll do 116 equals 3y plus 3y. So I'm just rewriting it here. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to combine like terms on the right side. I can see I have a 3y plus 3y plus 2y plus 2y. I can combine those. These are all like terms. And that'll give me a total of 10y. And then the remaining terms, you can see we have a positive 3 plus another 3, which gives me positive 6, so I get plus 6. Next step, I'm going to subtract 6 to both sides. And we're going to get equals, let me just slide this down a little bit. We're going to get 110 equals 10y. And then the last step, division property, so I'm going to divide both sides by 10 so that I can get 1y equal to 11. And that's my final answer there. But don't forget, that was only part A. We said that in the plan is we're going to solve for y. We got y. Now we have to take that number and substitute it into the expression xy equals 2y plus 3. So I'm going to replace my y with the answer we got, which was 11. And we get xy equals 22 plus 3. And then when I simplify that even further, just slow down a little bit, we get 25. So that is the length of the side, xy. It's 25 units. And then we have one final step. So we do have the answer, but the final step, which is often overlooked, step 4. So I'm going to put it over here. Step 4 is to check your work. So basically, we know, for one, did we answer the question? Yes. They told us to find the length of side xy, which we did. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to substitute it to see if it does check out to work, to be a 116 altogether. So for example, right, we started off with this 3y. We had 2y plus 3 and then 2y plus 3. I already know that the length of xy, which is this one here, so let me just label the sides, v and w. We already know that the length of xy is 25, right? I already found that side. And I also know that if that side is 25, then the other one is also going to be 25 because it's identical. It's the same thing. And now I have to replace y in this part here. 3 times 11, which I can see is going to give me 33 for this side. And if this side is 33, I know the other side is also going to be 33. And now, remember, they told us that the perimeter of the rectangle below is 116, which means when I added these 4 sides, 33 plus 33, we get 66. I add another 25, and I get 91. And then I have to add 25 one more time. And I get 116. So basically, again, I added the 4 sides, right? I did 33 plus 33 plus 25 plus 25. So those are my 4 sides. I added them all together. And just in case, if that might have confused you, all I did was this. I added all the side lengths together, and when you add all this together, you get 116. Since the perimeter adds up to 116, then I know 100%, I'm 100% sure that XY is 25 units long.